Johnny Walker. Thanks. Yes, Mhlahlo.
Ms. Mhlahlo, let's start with Exhibit D. Of your qualifications and skills. Am I correct to say the total number of experience you have in the SAPS is 22 years?
Nginyanisile ke xa ndisithi iminyaka iyonke okanye iphelele onayo esipoliseni ngama-22. That is indeed correct, my lord.
Okay. So how many years of experience as an ordinary police officer, not as a criminal record crime scene management?
Na njengepolisa ke ipolisa ke liqhelekileyo okanye lesiqhelo ke hayi kwelicala ke criminal crime scene management kodwa nje liqhele imingaphi iminyaka kwelo cala.
E2 if you minus akula 22.
If you minus from the 22, it's 2.
And sisusa lo 18 engisebenza ngawo ku criminal record crime scene management.
And we also minus the 18 years that I've been working the criminal record center.
Okay, so it's 2 years as an ordinary police officer plus 18 years as LCRC. Am I correct?
Mibini ulipolisa ibe 18 ku LCRC. That is correct, my lord.
Okay, then in total that will be 20 years of experience.
Kube 20 there.
22 years. Na 22 years esiphoyiseni. Kule 22 years, 18 yayo ngisebenza ku crime scene management.
I have 22 years experience in the police service, and then of those 22, 18 of those 22
I haven't checked my phone. Nation of Lieutenant Colonel Mhlahlo to continue with the lawyers representing.
Practically as
Yes, my lord.
yeah, do you agree with me that a course can be a one-day course, a week course, or a month course? Am I correct?
Because ingathathi ingalusuku, ingayiveki, ingayinyanga.
Kuxhomekeka kwikhoso oyenzayo mhlekazi.
Depends on the course that you are attending.
Yeah, because this one you know it. You are the one who studied it, who attended it. What was the duration of study in this course that is referred to in paragraph 3?
Na njengoba apha ke uyayazi wena nguwe wawuphayana yayilixesha engakanani leyo.
Ukwenza yonke lama course mhlekazi kunithathe 3 years.
To attend to all these courses took me 3 years.
Okay. The one, firstly with the one in Pretoria. You see that first one on the same paragraph. You see that one? And the second one is from Western Cape. And the third one is Criminal Center, Pretoria, Protea Glen.
Yeah. I see them.
Okay. So were you attending them in one institution or separately? How did you attend them?
Attenda njani kwiziko elinye okanye ngokwahlukeneyo?
The attended advance Pretoria mhlekazi.
I attended the advanced in Pretoria.
Okay, at a time or simultaneous with other courses?
Ngexesha elithile okanye ngaxeshanye kunye nezinye?
Not ngaxeshanye mhlekazi.
Not at the same time.
Okay, when did you attend this one for Protea Glen? In which year, in other words?
Protea Glen or Pretoria? She said Pretoria.
Yeah, the one right now I'm referring to the one for Protea Glen.
Uchukuza ke ngeProtea Glen.
When? In which year did you attend that?
Protea Glen mhlekazi ndichazile apho ukuthi ndi-attende theoretical and practical. Protea Glen bensenza ama-practicals.
In Protea Glen, I was doing practicals. I did explain that there, that one, it was theoretical
and practical.
And practical.
In which year?
Go Punyaga.
Ngiqale ngo 2005 ukwenza amakhosi wami Mhlekazi.
I started my courses or to attend my courses in 2005, my lord.
To where?
Oh, kuyotsho okanye ukufikelela
Ku 2008.
up to 2008.
Okay. And the one, are they all inclusive in these years, or you also attended the others on separate years?
Ingaba zonke zikule minyaka okanye uyenda kwezinye kweminye iminyaka.
The one in Pretoria and the one for Western Cape?
Le yase Pretoria kakunye nale yase Western Cape.
Zikule minyaka Mhlekazi.
They are in these years.
Oh, okay. Am I correct that these causes that we have referred to here, they are in-service courses that are conducted internally within the department?
Zikho sike zangaphakathi kwisebe andithi?
Kunjalo Mhlekazi.
That's correct.
Okay. Other than these causes, you don't have any other causes passed outside the SAPS, meaning from any other institution?
Ngaphandle kwezi ke ngokuzangaphakathi esipoliseni awunazo ezangaphandle kwamanye amaziko owazihambayo.
Endinawo amakhosi endihambile ngala asesipoliseni Mhlekazi.
The courses that I have and that I attended are the ones within the police service.
Only?
Kuphela.
Anxulumene nomsebenzi wami Mhlekazi.
Which are related to my job.
Oh, okay. And also, you will agree with me that all these courses are not accredited in terms of SAQA, in terms of South African Qualifications Act.
Zonke izikhosi ezi ke ngoku kusakwa lona ngaba ayizokhosi ongathi ke bayazi accredita bona.
Andizuvumelana nawe xa usisho njalo Mhlekazi because isiphoyisa besingeke sisiqeqeshe kanti lamakhosi awekho accredited.
I will disagree with you because there is no way that the police service was going to train us if their courses were not accredited.
No, you don't have to disagree with me. I'm just asking, if you say they are accredited, just say that. I'm asking from you.
Ndibuza kuwe ke hayi kuba ngaba uthi awuvumelani nami uba accredited uzawutsho uba awekho utsho.
Inoba iHRD ngabazo ukuzochaza ke Mhlekazi.
HRD will be able to come and explain.
Okay. Paragraph 4 of the same exhibit. You also mentioned that you were trained by experienced experts. You see that one?
Kulapho uchazayo nakhona ke okokuba ngaba waqeqeshwa zingcali ezinamava.
Kunjalo Mhlekazi.
That is correct, my lord.
Those people who trained you, were they qualified or they were trained experts? If you know.
Abantu bakuqeqeshayo ukuba ngaba uyazi uba ngaba ngabantu ababe qualified kusini na okanye ngabantu ababe trainiwe nabo. Ukuba ngaba uyazi.
Ndizawuthi ba qualified because ngaba babestrain Mhlekazi.
I would say that they were qualified because they were the ones who were training us, my lord.
Okay. As a result of that, in paragraph 5, because of receiving the training from the qualified expert, you are now an expert. As per paragraph 5.
Xa ku paragraph 5 ke ngoku emveni kwako oko okanye ngenxeni yoko wabe senawe ke ngoku wafumana ke ngoku ukuba ngaba uyingcali okanye uyingcaphephe nawe emveni koqeqesho owalifumanayo.
Kunjalo Mhlekazi.
That's correct, my lord.
Okay. Then let's move on to paragraph 8. As I read what is contained in paragraph 8, so it means Mr. Mosia conducted first investigation on the 26th of October, and you came on the 27th of October, am I correct?
Xa ndifunda ke phaya kulamqolo wesibhozo into ethetha uba ngaba umsiya yena waqala ngophando kusuku olungaphambili lwange-26 walandela ke wena ke nge-27.
Kunjalo Mhlekazi.
That's correct, my lord.
Okay. When you arrived at the scene, where was Mr. Mosia? Did you arrive together? Or how did you arrive?
Xa wawufika ke kwindawo lena ke xhwayelo wayephi umsiya nafika kunye okanye wayephi wena xa ufika?
Ndamfumana kwindawo yoxhayelo.
I found him on the scene, my lord.
Okay. And then let's move on to paragraph 8 of Exhibit D. You said, okay, maybe let me just read everything, my lord. You said, I further, oh, sorry, it's not paragraph 8, it's not separate paragraph, it's a continuation of paragraph 8 on the following page. You see that line? It says, we agreed that Mr. Mosia will proceed with forensic investigation as he started with it already on his first visit, and I focused on the photography and fingerprints investigation. I then documented the crime scene by means of photographs, rough sketch, and crime scene report, and also conducted fingerprint investigation. Do you see that one?
Ebona ke apha iqala khona ba nayi navumelana ba umsiya aqhubeke ngoba beseqalile waze wena waqhubeka ngokufota nokhangela ke futhi ne-fingerprints kwase kuthi ke lonto okanye isimo okanye ubume bendawo leyo yesiganeko wathatha ifoto iziketshi kwakunye nengxelo okanye crime scene report ne kwakunye fingerprint investigation. That's correct, my lord.
So in other words, do I understand it correctly to say you are the one who was responsible and who for taking the fingerprints at the scene?
Ingaba ndikuva kakuhle ke ngokuba ngaba uyayiluxanduva lwakho ukulandela okanye ke ukufumanisa imino okanye insalela zemino i-fingerprints. That is correct, my lord.
Okay. And all the fingerprints that were lifted in the house, they were conducted by yourselves?
Yonke imino eyafumanekayo ke okanye fingerprints ezafumanekayo phaya endlini kwenziwa nguwe oko. That's correct, my lord.
And it is your evidence also that when you arrived at the scene, you were given report by Colonel Zwane, if I'm not mistaken.
Uchilo nokuba ngaba xa nifika okanye kufikeni kwenu phayana ke umuntu owaye wanichazela uba kwenzeka ntoni na nguKolonel Zwane. That is correct, my lord.
And also you were informed about the door that was used by the intruder. Is that correct?
Nocango olu abangena ngalo aba kuthiwa bangena endlini naliboniswa. That is correct, my lord.
Did you take any fingerprints from that door?
Kolo ucango olo ngaba ikhona imino eyathathwayo?
Investigate.
I powdered it, I did investigate the door.
Okay, did you receive the results?
Iziphumo wazifumana. There were no prints with them.
Okay. In your report, because you lifted, you say you took the samples. Am I correct? Do I understand you correct?
Which sample was that?
Samples
Of what?
For the door that was used by the intruder. What did you say? You said, what did you take? What did you do?
Uthi waye wenza ntoni kola cango olu kuthiwa bangena ngalo?
Investigator for fingerprint.
I investigated for fingerprints.
By doing what?
Ngokwenza ntoni?
Powder crime scene.
By powdering the crime scene.
Yes. And then photos of that?
Iifoto zoko.
Were there any photos of that as evidence to show that this was done like any other exhibits?
Ukubonisa uba kwenziwa oku nanjengobunye ubungqina.
If inkundla iyanivumela ngicela ukucacisa indaba ye-fingerprint uba isebenza kanjani.
If the court will allow me, I would like to explain, my lord.
Yes, please.
Yes.
Enkosi mshakazi. Xa ufika kwi-crime scene, uchecka ama-fingerprint, usebenzisa i-powder, usebenzisa i-brush. Kudepende ukuthi i-surface leyo injani oyipowderayo.
When you arrive at the crime scene, looking for fingerprints, you check, you use a brush, you use the powder, and also depending on the surface as to how it is.
But phambi koba uzawupowder kune torch light source esiyisebenzisayo to search for ama-fingerprint.
But before doing that, there is a torch light source that we make use of to check for fingerprints.
Then upowdera i-crime scene yakho.
You then powder the crime scene.
If akunama-fingerprint owafumanayo,
Okay.
If there are no fingerprints that you find,
you don't lift anything.
akukho okuphakamisayo.
Kodwa if kunama-fingerprint afumanekayo,
But if there are fingerprints found,
kulapho ke ngokuwa-capture khona.
that is where you capture them,
Kuba i-evidence yakho leyo
because that's your evidence
osebenza ngayo.
that you work with.
Okay. So it is your evidence that from the door, you couldn't detect any fingerprints.
bubungqina bakho ke uba ngaba phaa kolaa cango oluyana zange kufumaneke nto.
Kunjalo Mhlekazi.
That is correct, my lord.
Okay. Mr. Musia, when he was asked if were any fingerprints that were taken from the door, he said no. There were no fingerprints that were taken.
Ekubuzweni kwakhe uMusiya uba ngaba ikhona na iminwe eyathathwayo phaya kolaa cango yena waphendula ngelithi hayi.
In other words, he did not mention that there was that preliminary test that you are saying that you have to do first before you could see if there was any fingerprints to be lifted or not.
My understanding is that Musia was in charge of the swabbing, and the question was whether did she conduct any swabbing there on the kitchen door, and he said no. He did not, as I understand the evidence, speak on behalf of this witness.
No, but the question is ambiguous. When Musia says there were no fingerprints taken, it means there were no fingerprints. There was none. That's another meaning of that. So it doesn't mean this lady, the witness, did not conduct the tests. However, fingerprints are taken. It doesn't follow that there were no tests made. For him to come to that conclusion, the possibility is there were tests, fluorescent tests, which she conducted. Okay.
Thank you, my lord. Is the question disallowed, my lord?
No, it's not disallowed.
Okay.
I'm just expanding on you saying that, insinuating actually in your examination that Musia says there were no fingerprints taken.
Okay.
Meaning that no tests were done. That's one aspect of it also. That's why I say it is ambiguous.
My question is, Ms. Mhlahlo, Mr. Musia, when he testified, he said there were no fingerprints taken, but he did not specify that there were those preliminary tests that were applied first, which caused the fingerprints not to be taken. Do you understand what I'm saying?
I hear you, my lord.
Yeah. He never said so. He never said what you are telling the court now, that the powder and other skills were applied before, which caused the fingerprints not to be lifted.
Inkqubo le uthetha ngayo wena wayenzayo ukupawuda usebenzisa ibrush akhange ayikhankanye uMsiya yena loo nto.
Andinakwazi ukuphendulela uMsiya Mhlekazi.
I'm unable to answer on behalf of Musia.
Okay. When you arrived at the scene, how many police officers did you find inside the house?
Ekufikeni kwakho phayana mangapha amapolisa owawafumana phakathi endlini.
Kwangenamapolisa endlini Mhlekazi, ndafumana uZwane noMsiya babeme egeyitini.
There were no police officers inside the house. I found Zwane and Musia. They were standing outside at the gate.
Okay. Do I understand correctly that you were a senior member to Mr. Musia when you arrived at the scene?
Ngokwesikhundla ke wawungenhla kuMusia ekufika lamini xa wawufika pha kwisini.
Ewe kunjalo Mhlekazi.
That is correct, my lord.
Okay. Am I correct to understand that you and Mr. Musia, you are from the same unit?
Ndiva kakuhle uba ngaba wena noMsiya nikwi-unity enye.
Ewe kunjalo
That is
Mhlekazi.
correct, my lord.
Thank you. Mr. Musia was a junior member to you at the time because he testified that he was a constable at
Why?
that particular time, and you were sergeant or warrant.
Wayengezantsi kuwe ngesikhundla uMsiya ngoba wayeyi-constable yena ngelaa xesha wena isikhundla sakho sisithini?
Ndandiyi-warrant officer Mhlekazi.
Warrant officer.
Yes. So that one is above constable, am I correct?
Ingenhla kwe-constable andithi.
Enjalo Mhlekazi.
Yes, it is, my lord.
Okay. And Colonel Matidze, did he join you as you were raiding the scene, or he remained outside?
Ingaba ke waye waba kunye nani wanijoyina nayo Colonel Matidze okanye washiyeka ngaphandle yena?
Wayeshiyeke ngaphandle Mhlekazi.
He remained outside, my lord.
Okay. So a senior member there in that team, it was yourself, Ms. Mhlahlo, am I correct?
kula team yayinguwe wawusenior.
Kwicala le-crime scene management kwakundim.
Yes, on the side of crime scene management, it was myself.
Kodwa kumaphoyisa kwakungu-Lieutenant Zwane,
But-
owayeyi-detective.
But from the police, it was Lieutenant Zwane who was a detective.
Okay. And you decided that Mr. Musia, as much as he had done first investigation, but he should proceed as a junior member at the crime scene.
Kodwa ke nathatha isigqibo sokuba ngaba ke na njengoba ebeseleqalile uMsiya noxa nje wayengezansi kuni ngokwesikhundla kodwa makaqhubekeke.
Kunjalo mhlekazi.
That is correct, my lord.
And Mr. Musia testified that one of the reasons that made him to stop investigation on the first visit is because he was waiting for the management team, my lord, if I can refer to it. He was waiting for the management team or for the other team that was going to come and assist him.
Task team.
Task team, thank you, that's the correct word, task team.
Kodwa ke uMsiya yena kubungqina bakhe uthe isizathu soba ngaqhubekeki kusuka ngaphambili soba ngaba njengoba wayeseqalile nje kodwa ke ame kungoba waye kwakufuneka okanye waye walindela ba kufike i-task team.
Kunjalo mhlekazi.
That is correct, my lord.
So you were the task team that Mr. Musia was waiting for.
So wena ke wawukula task team okanye wawulinxane enye la task team awayilindile uMsiya.
Kunjalo
That
mhlekazi.
is correct, my lord.
And you delegated duties to the same person who had ceased to do investigation waiting for you.
Kwalomuntu mnye oye wathatha isigqibo kusuka ngaphambili sokuba ngaqhubekeki alinde wena okanye alinde nina i-team yenu wakubona ba wena mawusose unika yena.
Iyo lento senza a further investigation mhlekazi naye uMsiya.
Which is why we did further investigation together with Musia.
If inkundla iyaqaphela kunezinto uMsiya wayengazenzanga.
If the court will notice, my lord, or observe, there are certain things that Musia didn't do,
Sazenza wazenza xa sendikhona.
and he did those in my presence.
Okay, why?
Ngoba kutheni?
Why did he only conduct those investigations in your presence?
Intoni ebangaba azenze xa ukhona?
Were you the one who were giving instructions, in other words,
Yayinguwe
to him
wawumyale-
on what
oh,
to
sorry.
do, or you were just taking photos as you have testified?
Ingaba yayinguwe umyaleli bangaba makathini na okanye wawufota njena njengoba buchilo.
Njengoba ngishilo mhlekazi uba sasebenza as a team.
As I've already said, my lord, that we were working as a team,
Ene uthe xa ke chaza ukuthi ngephi investigation eseke yenzile.
and once, well, after he had told us or informed us as to which investigation had he started or done,
Kwafuneka ukuthi siqhubeke nge-DNA ngoba wayengayenzanga.
then we had to proceed with the DNA because he hadn't done that.
Yes, but also Mr. Musia, as he was taking those DNA, was he instructed by yourself or by any member of the team, or it came of his own mind that he must conduct those investigations?
Xa wayeyenza ke lo DNA leyo yinto awazenzela ngokunokwakhe okanye wayesenza into ayixelelwa ngomnye wenu njengoba ngabanani bathathu nguwe nguzwane naye, so wenza into ephuma kuye okanye wenza into ayixelelwa nini.
No wayengaxelelwa ngumuntu wayezenzela mhlekazi.
No, he wasn't told or instructed by anyone, he was doing it by himself.
Mina ndandisebenza naye.
I was just working with him.
Okay, so it means he conducted the investigation that he could have conducted without your assistance.
Into ethetha ukuthi wayewenza uphando awayenokulenza ungekho.
Wayengalenza ndingekho mhlekazi.
He could have done it in my absence, my lord,
Thank you very much.
Kodwa wayengenawo ama-torch okwasebenzisa.
but he didn't have the torches to use.
Okay. He also, Mr. Musia, testified that the camera that he used was not of good quality, and he waited for the task team to come so that he can be assisted.
Uchilo
You
ke
understand
nokokuba ngaba ikhamera lena awayisebenzisa yayingekho noko kwinqanaba elililo ngingako okanye yiloo nto abangaba ke makalinde i-task team.
Andinakwazi ukuyingqina yekhamera mhlekazi.
I wouldn't be able to attest with regards to the camera.
Okay, but at the scene when you were conducting the investigation, is it correct that Mr. Musia had his own camera and you also had your own camera?
Kodwa ke na njengoba usewukhona ke ngoku linene na elokuba ngaba wayene camera yakhe nawe une yakho.
Kunjalo mhlekazi.
That is correct, my lord.
And they were both functioning.
Zombini zazisebenza
Ngokolwazi kwami mhlekazi.
according to my knowledge, my lord.
Okay, okay, thank you. From the report that you received when you arrived at the scene, were you also informed that about the intruders' direction that they took immediately after the shooting incident?
Ekufikeni kwenu okanye ekufikeni kwakho ke ingaba wachazelwa kusini na mayela ke nenkalo abaphuma babheka ngakuyo okanye icala abaphuma babheka ngakulo aba babini ukuthi ababengene endlini?
Ewe kunjalo mhlekazi.
Yes, my lord.
Yes, what was said?
Kwathiwani?
Kwathiwa xa gqiba kwenzeka isiganeko baphumile behlisa ngestrato.
It was said that after the commission of the crime, my lord, of the offense, they went out of the house and went down the street
Yes.
Batshona ngasepakini.
and went towards the park.
Okay, did you take pictures of that street?
Istrato
And the
eso
pictures
ngaba
of
was
that park?
Oh, sorry.
Sorry.
No. Ingaba istrato eso was photo?
Anzange ndasifota mhlekazi.
No, I didn't, my lord.
And the park?
The park?
Anzange ndayifota
No, my
mhlekazi.
lord.
Why?
No bangela?
I-crime scene yami yayikule ndlu mhlekazi, not estratweni.
My crime scene was at that house, not in the street.
Oh, okay. According to your knowledge, the street and the park did not form part of the crime scene.
Ngokolwazi lwakho, istrato nepark yayingeyonxalenye ye-crime scene.
No, yayingeyo inxalenye yale crime scene yami mhlekazi.
No, it wasn't part of my crime scene.
Okay. It is your evidence that when you firstly arrived at the scene, you inspected the premises of the Khumalo homestead.
Uchilo okokuba ngaba ekufikeni kwenu phaya naqale najonga apha eyadini kwaKhumalo.
Ewe kunjalo
That
mhlekazi.
is correct, my lord.
Okay. Was it fenced?
Kwakubiyelwe.
Ewe kwakunodonga mhlekazi.
Yes, there was a wall right around,
Did you take
Kodwa
the
igate
pictures?
yangekho.
but there was no gate. Sorry.
Did you take the pictures of the wall around the house?
Idonga eli uthetha ngalo lalibiyele indlu lena ke ngaba walifota lona?
Ndathatha indlu mhlekazi.
I took pictures of the house, my lord.
Okay, so what's the answer? You did not take the pictures of the wall surrounding the house.
Udonga zange ulifota.
No, anzange ndalifota udonga kodwa liyabonakala ku photo number 7 and photo number 8.
No, my lord, but it appears on photo number 7 and number 8,
Photo 3, photo 4,
3 and 4,
photo 5 and 6.
5 and 6.
Idonga liyabona ingxenye yedonga iyabonakala.
A part of the wall is visible there.
Okay. Why didn't you take, did I miss the answer or I'm repeating the question? Why didn't you take the pictures of the four corners of the wall fencing the Khumalo homestead? Is there any reason?
Ngaba sikhona na isizathu esabanga ngaba ungalifoti lonke ladonga okanye ke ikona zone zoladonga lubiyele umzi wakwaKhumalo?
Isehlakalo senzeka endlini
The incident happened in the house,
ngaphakathi,
inside,
hayi ngaphandle.
not outside,
Iyo lento ndithathe indlu ngobunjalo bayo.
which is then why I took pictures of the house as is.
Ngoba kuthiwe ukufumana kwethu information isini yenzeka ngaphakathi, isehlakalo senzeka ngaphakathi endlini.
Because when we received the information, we were informed that the incident occurred inside the house.
Okay, so in other words, according to your knowledge, skills and expertise, you did not consider as it necessary to take the pictures of the wall and also to take measurements of the wall.
Ngokolwazi lwakho ke kwazi kwakho umsebenzi wakho awuzange uyibone eyimfuneko into yoba ngaba ke ulifota udonga nokungaba futhi uthathe ke imilinganiselo yodonga oliya.
Ubaba kuthiwe abantu baye batsiba edongeni mhlekazi, ndanizawuyenza lonto kodwa kwathiwa abantu baphume ngegate babaleka.
If I was informed that these people had jumped the wall, I would have done that, but I was informed that the people made use of the gate, went out of the gate and ran.
Okay, so as a result of that, you did not think that the walls formed part of the crime scene.
Ngenxeni yoko ke wayibona bangaba ke udonga olu alisiyonxalenye ye crime scene.
Ewe kunjalo mhlekazi.
That is correct, my lord.
And you said how many exit gates were there?
Zazingaphi igate zokuphuma ezaziphaya?
Inye mhlekazi.
Only one, my lord.
Okay. There is also evidence. Okay, sorry, my lord, can I just rephrase? In photo number 4, that you have just referred this quote to, depicts the wall between the two houses. You see that one?
Kunodonga ke lohlula ezi zindlu zimbini. Uyalibona?
Ewe ndiyalibona
Yes, I
mhlekazi.
do, my lord.
Did you take measurements of that wall?
Wawuthatha umlinganiselo wola donga oliya?
Anzange ndalithatha mhlekazi.
No, I didn't, my lord.
Why?
Ngoba kutheni?
Ngoba yayingekho information enxulumanisa isiganeko nebonda mhlekazi.
There was no information that linked or connected the incident together with the wall.
From the report that you received?
Kwingxelo owayifumanayo.
Kunjalo
That
mhlekazi.
is correct, my lord.
Okay, let me get clarity here. When you arrived at the scene conducting the investigation, do you conduct investigation only as per the report that we have been given, or you also apply your knowledge and skills to conduct the investigations at the
Xa
scene?
usenza uphando ufika ke kwindawo yoxhayelo usenza uphando lwakho ulenza ngokwengxelo leyo othe wayinikwa wayichazelwa okanye ukwasebenzisa nolwakho ke ulwazi okanye wakho amava.
Ndimamela ingxelo then nami ndisebenzisa omamava.
I listen to the report and also make use of my experience.
Okay. So, from your knowledge and skills and expertise, you did not think that it was necessary to measure that wall. Is that
Amava akho kulwazi lwakho onalo awuzange uyibone iyimfuneko into yoba ngaba ke uthathe imilinganiselo kola donga.
Njengokuba nisisho mhlekazi ukuthi sasingekho isizathu sokuthi ngithathe ubonda ngoba abantu kwathiwa baphume ngegate.
As I've already mentioned, my lord, that there was no need to take measurements of the wall because I was informed that the people exited through the gate.
okay? Let's move on from the report. The report was given to you by Mr. Musia, am I correct?
Ngumsiya owafika wachazela uba kwenzeke ntoni xa ufika koqala.
Lieutenant Zwane.
Zwane.
Lieutenant Zwane.
Oh, thank you. From the report that you received from Lieutenant Zwane, were you informed that Mhlahlo picked up one of the exhibits and showed it to the police that this is the exhibit that was worn by the suspect? Did you receive such a report?
Ekufikeni kwakho nakwingxelo owathi wayifumana okanye nathi nayifumana ingaba waboniswa okanye waxelelwa na uba ngaba uMkhumalo waphakamisa oku wakubonisa amapolisa wathi yenye yezinto ebinxitywe ngomnye wabarhanelwa le?
Anzange ndayifumana loo ngxelo mhlekazi.
I never received such a report, my lord.
And according to your knowledge as a member of both SAPS and as an expert, if such an occurrence happened at the scene, that occurrence will have to be recorded in statements. Am I correct?
Nanjengoba ke umacala omabini usesipoliseni ukwayiyo nengxali uba ngaba into enjalo yenzekile enjengale ngoku bubuzwa ngayo wathi zange wayixelelwa into leyo ekufanele uba ngaba ibhalwa phansi.
Kunjalo
That
mhlekazi.
is correct, my lord.
And also, it's a report that ought to, you as experts arriving at the scene, that you ought to have been informed about.
Kwaye futhi sisehlakalo okanye sisiganeko ekwakumele uba xa nifika nixelelwe ngaso.
Ewe kunjalo mhlekazi.
Yes, that is correct, my lord.
Okay. Before we come to the tampering with the crime scene, Lieutenant Colonel Mhlahlo, can you tell us, from your knowledge, what is expected of the members of the SAPS when they arrive at the scene to safeguard and to make sure that exhibits are secured?
Ngaphambi koba siye ke kuphazanyiso okanye kwi-tempering eyenzekayo ke kwindawo le yesiganeko nanjengepolisa ke elinamava ke yintoni elindelekileyo uba ngaba yenziwe ngamapolisa xa efika kwindawo yesiganeko ukuqinisekisa ukuba ngaba ke indawo leyo yesiganeko isafeguardiwe ngamanye amagama ke ikhuselekile?
Ndicela ukuphendula mhlekazi kwiside le forensic.
I would like to answer on the side of forensic, my lord.
Yes.
Xa ufika kwindawo yesiganeko kunama-member,
When you arrive at the crime scene and there are members,
uzozi-introduce,
you introduce yourself.
then bakubriefe ukuthi kwenzakaleni,
They then brief you as to what happened.
then isini seyinikezelwa kuwe ukuthi uyi-investigate.
The scene is then handed over to you to investigate.
Xa u-investigator uyi-investigator nabo.
When you investigate, you do that with them.
That's all. You don't know anything about securing the crime scene.
Oh,
How is crime scene secured at the
Secure the
scene
crime scene. I wasn't.
as a police officer?
Iyenziwe.
Yeah, how is the crime scene secured?
Is secure kanjani?
Yes, by
Kufanele kufakwe
police.
i-tape.
A tape.
Befika amaphoyisa.
When the police arrived, they needed to make use of a tape.
Kungabikho abantu abangenayo.
No people should be allowed to enter.
Yes.
If kunabantu abangaphakathi babakhuphele ngaphandle.
If there are people inside, they need to take them out.
What else?
Indonenye?
Bajonge isini ukuthi ngabikho ilento i-movement ngaphandle ngalento ngaphakathi.
They keep watch over the scene to make sure that there's no movement inside
Until isini investigate igqitywe.
until it is investigated and completed.
In other words, they have to remain at the scene
Into ethetha ukuthi bahlale babe phaya.
to safeguard.
That is correct.
To safeguard and to prevent any tampering with exhibits. Am I correct?
Ukuyigada ke uba ngaba ikhuseleke kwaye futhi kungaphazanyiswana nobungqina okanye tampering.
Kunjalo
That
mhlekazi.
is correct, my lord.
In this crime scene now, I'm talking about this crime scene that you attended on the 27th of October. Did you receive the report that there is a person by the name of Mr. Mhlahlo who was at some stage after the incident left in control of the house and left with the keys for the house?
Ekufikeni kwenu phayana ingaba waxalelwa na okokuba ngaba ke emveni koba ngaba isiganeko esisathi senzeka kunomnumzana uKhumalo owashiywa nesitshixo okokuba ngaba ke makajonge indlu ya wayixalelwa na lonto leyo.
Anzange ndayifumana lo ngxelo mhlekazi.
I never received such a report, my lord.
Okay. And also, do you confirm that if there had been such occurrence, that also ought to have been reported to you as a specialist and also ought to have been recorded from the statements of the police officers who attended the scene?
Nokuba ngaba ke into enjalo kwakumele bangaba uyixelelwe ke na njenge specialist nokuba lonto leyo kwakumele bangaba ke okanye kufanele bangaba ibhaliwe phansi kwi statement.
If ndandiyixelelwe mhlekazi ndanzayibhala kwi-statement sam.
If I was informed of such, I would have documented it in my statement.
And also the police officers who arrived first, if they had received such information, that information was very crucial. It ought to have been recorded in the statement so that it can be investigated properly.
Naleyo kuba ngaba ke amapolisa la afika kuqala wona ke kuba ngaba information leyo njalo ayinayo kwakumele ayibhale phansi nawo.
Mhlawumbi kwi-statement zabo mhlekazi.
Maybe in their statements, my lord.
Yeah, thank you. And also, do you agree with me that if a person is left in control of the house, which is the crime scene that I'm referring to, and having keys left alone to take control of that house, there may be a possibility of that person removing and placing the exhibits at the crime scene. In other words, there is a possibility of that person interfering with the crime scene because he was left with the keys. He was left in control of the house.
Neyokuba ngaba ke masithi njengoba ngaba besuchazele ukuba ngaba ke kunalomnumzana uKhumalo wayishiwe nezijixo. Uba ngaba ke ngoku akhona amathuba kanye kungenzeka into yokuba ngaba umuntu onjalo ngoba lo muntu unezijixo zalendlu angangena phakathi kulandlu angavula angasusa into ethile abeke into ethile ngamagama angaphazamisana nobungqina obukhoyo phaya.
Andazi noba inkundla ifuna ndiphawule kulonto or ifuna phendule na.
I don't know whether the court would like me to comment on that, my lord.
If you can respond, Lieutenant Colonel, from your knowledge and from your skills and experience. I'm not saying you are the one who gave the keys. I'm not saying that you know the knowledge of Mr. Mhlahlo. I am saying if a person is left in control of the house without the presence of the police, there is a possibility that that person can interfere, place or remove the exhibits inside the house.
And
There is
it
a
will-
possibility.
Andithi unolwazi, andithi wamnika uKhumalo isitshixo, andithi mawuyazi into ecingwa nguKhumalo, kodwa ndithi kungenzeka ngoba lo muntu kaloku izitshixo zikuye zalendlu. Angangena angasusa into ethile abeke into ethile.
No comment on that.
Akukho engakusho kulokho.
Very good. Good answer. Let's move on to photo number 18 and 19 of your photo album. Photo 18 and 19, I think you can see it from your exhibit there in front of you. Okay. They both depict the bullet hole from the door. Am I correct?
Zombini ke eziphoto zibonakalisa ke umngxunya lo wembumbulu ecangweni.
Kunjalo
That
Mhlekazi.
is correct, my lord.
Okay. Is there any investigation, any sort of investigation that was done on those two holes? Sorry, not on those two holes, in that hole that is depicted in two pictures.
Ngaba lukhona na uphando nokokuba ngaba lolwaluphi na uhlobo olwenziwa lomngxunya obonakala apha kwezifoto ezimbini.
Or there was no need to do any investigation on that.
Okanye kwakungekho mfuneko yokuba ngaba ke kube khona uphando lwenziwayo phaya.
Ngaphandle kokuthatha izithombe nokujonga ukuthi lo monakalo uphumele ngaphandle or awuphumelanga ngaphandle ayikho enye investigation eyenziwa.
Except for the taking pictures and also looking, my lord, as to whether where did the bullet or the hole lead to, no other investigation was done.
I-investigation esayenza kukujonga nje ukuthi lo monakalo uphelele phi.
The only investigation we did was to look as to the trajectory of this damage, my lord, as to where did it end up.
Okay. You did not take any piece of that hole, you did not do any swab, is that correct?
Anzange
In
nithathe
that
iphisi yolacango oluya okanye nenzwe ke iswap kuyo.
Akunjalo asange sayithatha Mhlekazi.
No, we didn't.
Okay. And then let's move on to photo number 127 of the same exhibit. From your own words, you said what is depicted there is the bullet head. Am I correct?
Uthi ibullet head le andithi.
Kunjalo
That is
Mhlekazi.
correct, my lord.
What else is depicted there?
Intoni enye ebonakalayo?
Licezu lomnyango Mhlekazi.
Yeah, it's a piece of the door, my lord.
Which door?
Ophi umnyango?
Lo owasekitchen
The kitchen door.
How do you know that?
Oh, kwazi kanjani oko?
iyafana le picture le elicezu liyafana nomnyango lento. Nomnyango.
It's the same, my lord. This piece looks exactly the same as the door.
Was it taken for examination to see if that piece is part of the door?
Engaba yathathwa na okokuba ngaba iyojongwa kanye iyovavanywa okokuba ngaba inxalenye yodonga sorry yocango kusini na.
Esipoliseni asinayo Mhlekazi i-unit evavanya ama piece of wood.
In the police service, we don't have a unit that tests or that examines piece of wood.
But do you agree with me that that piece of wood ought to have been taken to be checked and compared if it belongs or if it's the part of the door?
Sorry, but this witness says in the police force, they don't have such a unit.
As the court
So,
pleases.
I mean, where do we go?
As the court pleases, my lord. Then from your own naked eyes, I put it to you that you are not a specialist. You cannot tell this court that that part of wood, which is depicted there, forms part of the door.
Awuso specialist ke ngokujonga njengamehlo akho awukho kwisimo sokuba ungathi lapha isibonakala phaya inxalenye yocango.
Ndiyavuma andiyiyo ingcali mhlekazi kodwa nakuthathatha uyabona angabona uba le piece iyafana nalo osemnyango.
I agree, I am not a specialist, but to any person, it is so obvious that that piece is exactly the same as that one on the door.
And I put it to you that without the report from a specialist who works with that examination, you cannot tell the court that it was part of that, of the door.
Kodwa ke ndithi kuwe ngaphandle kwengxelo yengcali ke esebenza ngako okuyana wena ngokunokwakho awunakuyiqalela lenkundla ba inxalenye.
Umnyango uhluphukile kunepisi esecanga komnyango ziyafana ezinto if ujonga lo mnyango ku page ku photo number 19 nale piece eku 127 ziyafana ncamashi mhlekazi noma ndingeyosiso i specialist.
My lord, yes, I am not a specialist, but if you look on photo 19 and the piece on photo 127, even if I am not a specialist, it is exactly the same.
But I'm also telling you that you are not qualified to give that report. Let's move on. Did you measure that piece?
Ngaba umlinganiselo wala piece okanye ke measurement
Which you are referring to it as a piece
that?
of wood depicted in photo number 127. What were the measurements of that wood?
Yathathwa i-measurements zala piece.
Anzange ndazithatha mhlekazi.
No, I didn't.
We don't even know how long was it.
Awuyazi noma yayinde kangakanani na?
Anzange ndayimeasure mhlekazi.
No, I never measured it.
Okay, we don't even know the color. What was the color
Awazi nombala.
of that
Brown
piece?
mhlekazi.
It's brown.
Is that included in your statement?
Ikhona kwi-statement sakho.
Did you include it that you also recovered a piece of wood and explained the color, the size of the wood that you recovered or you saw?
Inkcukacha zayo wazibhala kwi-statement sakho.
Uba ndandiyicollectile ndanzawusibhala kodwa ngoba ndizange ndayicollector anzange ndasibhala mhlekazi.
If I had collected that piece, I would have written those details, but because I didn't, so I didn't.
Why you omitted to include such crucial information? That's crucial evidence.
Ngaba yintoni ke ebanga bangaba ke ubungqina obubaluleke kangaka ungabufaki?
You also failed to record it anywhere.
Akhona lapho wayibhala khona.
Kwicala lam le forensic investigation mhlekazi bendiba ndichazele lenkundla ukuthi le piece ayina evidential value and nangoku ndiqaba kutsho ukuba esiphoyiseni asinayo i-department apho uthatha khona ama-wood uwase khona ukuthi ayotest.
I did say to this court that my forensic investigation, this was of no evidential value, and I just explained to the court that in the police service, we don't have a unit where you take wood to, or that you can take wood to.
Yeah. But my question now, right now, it's not about taking the exhibit and referring it to the site. I am saying, did you include that in your statement, that you recovered a piece of wood, clarifying the color and the size? That's what I was saying to you.
Endikubuzayo kuba ngaba ke kwi-statement sakho wabhala nangayo la piece uchaza ke umbala wayo.
Anzange ndabhala mhlekazi.
Thank you.
I never wrote.
Thank you. And you, oh, sorry, my lord. Let's, okay, can we just quickly go to the pictures depicting the alcohol cans? I think because it's your photo album, you can assist me quickly. Those pictures, yeah. 121, 122. 119, yes, all those. I think they're depicting one and the same items. Do you see those cans?
Yes, my lord.
Okay. You found them when you arrived at the scene, am I correct?
Ezinkonxa eziwazifumana xana nifika phaya kunjalo? That is correct.
Whose idea, who came with the idea that they form part of the evidence and that there must be exhibits like swabs that were done or any kind of investigations to be done on them?
Yaba luluvo okanye umbono kabani okokuba ngaba mazibe yinxalenye yobungqina kwaye futhi ke kwenziwe ke uphando phaya kuzo.
Kwakungumbono wethu nomsiya Mhlekazi.
I was together with Msia, my lord.
Yeah, okay. Can you just specify now? I want clarity because Masia had visited the crime scene. He did not lift anything up there. Okay? He did not conduct any investigation on those cans.
Ndifuna ke ngokucacelwa ngoba ebeyile okanye wayeyile kuqala phaya uMsiya zange enze into kwezatoti eziya.
So that's why I'm asking specifically that upon whose instruction that there must be an investigation which needed to be done or conducted from those two exhibits.
Kungoko ke ndibuza ukuba ngaba yaba kumyalelo kabani na ukuba ngaba ke makwenze uphando kwezatoti.
Xa kwenziwa investigation akubi ne-instruction Mhlekazi.
When an investigation is done, there are no instructions.
Okay.
Nisebenza ngokubonisana.
You work by having exchanging of views.
So you cannot tell this court exactly as to who came with the idea that there must be an investigation to be conducted there. You can't tell the court. It was the team.
Awungeke uyixelele enkundla uba yaba luluvo likabani kanye yeza nabani loo nto leyo.
Kwakululwethu sobabini Mhlekazi.
Both of us.
Who was the lead investigator?
Kubani investigator
Now we are a team. Now. We are a team. We are a senior member working with a junior. Who was the team investigator? Who was the lead investigator?
Nibabini okanye anibukho babini niliqela ni team kwaye futhi usebenza nomuntu ke oyijunior kuwe kodwa ngubani owayi-lead owayekhokela.
Umuntu responsible for forensic ngumsiya Mhlekazi.
The person that was responsible for the forensic was Musia.
Okay, so it was the junior who was assisting you in conducting the crime scene, the investigation at the crime scene.
Yeah, junior eyayincedisa wena kwi-crime scene la.
Kwi-crime scene asisebenzi ngobu-senior or ubu-junior Mhlekazi.
At the crime scene, we don't work according to junior or senior.
Oh, okay, you can be led by a junior
Ungakwazi
officer.
ukukhokelwa junior.
Sisebenza ngokubonisana.
We work by exchanging views,
Hayi ngama-instructions.
not according to instructions.
The reason why I keep on going back, it's because Mr. Masia had explained, had testified in this court that he had ceased investigation and he was waiting for the task team referring to you. And those cans were there, he could have done investigation. But he did not conduct any investigation, waiting for the task team. That's why I need clarity.
Unobangela obangaba ndimane
On that
ndikuyuva ke kungoba ke uMusia wayifikile phayana kazange enze into kwezatoti wathi ke wayelinde nina ke i-task team yiloo nto ndifuna ukucacelwa.
Yiyo lento ndicacisa Mhlekazi kule nkundla ukuba uMsiya yebo wayengayenzanga i-DNA wayengenzanga ilento yiyo lento senze i-further investigation naye kwizinto akangazenzanga.
Which is why then, my lord, I am also explaining to this court that yes, there are certain things that Musia didn't do, like DNA, which is the reason why we then proceeded with further investigations.
And that's why I'm asking you, how have you assisted Mr. Musia?
Ilo nto ke ndikubuza ke ngokuba ngaba wancedisa kanjani na uMsiya.
Ngokuqhubeka ndithathe izithombe aconducte i-DNA Mhlekazi.
By proceeding and taking pictures, and he took a forensic, my lord, investigation.
And am I correct to say you are not the one who gave instructions that exhibits investigation should be done in those two cans? We are not the one.
Xa ndisithi ke ngoku ayisinguwe okanye ayizange benguwe owathi makwenze uphando kwezitoti ezi.
Kwakululuvo lwethu sobabini Mhlekazi.
It was both of us' idea, my lord.
And when you were receiving the training you received from the trained experience, did they tell you about the attitude, the effects of the positive and negative attitude in testifying in court? Did they train you about that?
I don't think I get it. Okay.
When you're receiving training, there is training that we have referred to, that we have received successfully in paragraph 3 and 4 of Exhibit D. In that training, did they train you about the effects of positive and negative attitude when you are giving evidence in court?
We don't fathom the relevance of that question. Perhaps if counsel can lay the basis, but at this point, my lord, we submit that it should be disallowed.
Yeah, what is that question to do with evidential proceedings like these ones
My Lord,
concerning a forensic expert or a forensic scene gatherer?
well, my Lord, I can rephrase that question, my Lord. However, can I just give a quick answer to say the reason why I'm referring the witness to those paragraphs, my Lord, it's because Mr. Musia had testified.
No, we're not talking about that. We're talking about whether she has been trained the consequences or the effects of giving positive and negative evidence.
It's because, my Lord,
That's what we are interrogating, not...
It's because, my Lord, the witness does not want to give answer whether it was him.
But that question,
Or it was
Ms.
Mr.
Mhlahlo, that question it's a legal question. Who gives evidence and is trained on giving evidence? I know of judges and advocates who can't even give evidence, even after going to school for 5 years, 7 years.
My Lord, if she did not receive such training, she must say so. There is
Have
no
you received legal training, ma'am?
Yes.
Yeah,
Thank you,
let's proceed.
Thank you, my Lord. It's better if it's coming from the witness. Let's move on, Ms. Mhlahlo. You testified that the brown envelope was used. You remember that evidence?
Utshilo-ke ukuba kwasetshenziswa
To put in the
i-envelope
exhibit.
e-brown.
If inkundla ingandireferela ukuthi itsho kweliphi ilento ityeli.
Which are you referring to exactly?
This is your evidence. You are the one who compiled that report. You testified about this. You referred this court to the envelope that was used to put the bullet that you recovered yourself on top of the cupboard, and you took pictures of that exhibit. That's the one I'm referring to.
And ithetha ke nge-envelope leyo ubuthethe ngayo wena uchazela le nkundla ngayo uthi yile wafaka kuyo futhi imbumbulu.
In other words, it's part of your evidence,
Inxalenye
what
yobungqina
I'm
bakho.
referring you to.
Ewe envelope yasetyenziswa mhlekazi.
Yes, an envelope was used, my lord.
And it's in photo number 128 and 129.
Kule ku-128 naku-129.
Ngisho ku-130 ewe kunjalo mhlekazi.
Up to 130, indeed so, my lord.
Yes. The brown envelope. Let's talk about the brown envelope. Oh, okay. My Lord, before that, the witness was asked to bring the seal exhibit back. My Lord, I would also like to have a sight, my Lord. No.
That was...
Court's request.
Yes, you
Thank
can
you.
cross-examine after I have sought the explanation from the witness.
Oh, thank you, my Lord. Now proceed.
Please.
The brown envelope, Lieutenant Colonel, that was used to put the exhibit as depicted in picture number 128 is not the one that is prescribed in terms of the standing rules of the SAPS. Am I correct?
Envelope lena ke esetshenziswayo ayiyo lena iyo okanye ivumelekileyo ngokwasesipoliseni.
In other words, it was a brown envelope like this. I'm not saying that envelope was like this. I'm just saying it's a brown envelope like this, which is not prescribed like the seal bag, exhibit bags that comes with numbers and everything. Am I correct?
And ithi ke i-envelope efana naleya andithi yiyo but iyafana nje naleya ayikho ngokohlobo lwe-exhibit bag apho khona ine-seal numbers.
Ewe ayinayo seal number mhlekazi.
Yes, it doesn't have a seal number, my lord.
Okay. And that type of envelope, when you close it, it's not like the seal bag that after you had opened it, you cannot reseal it again. Am I correct?
Ayifani ke nengxowa lena ke yobungqina okokuba ngaba emveni koba uyivulile uyakwazi ukuphinde futhi uyivale.
Le envelope mhlekazi iba ngaphansi iba nento engathi iglue.
Underneath this envelope has got something that looks like glue.
We know it's the normal one. That one is the government one. Am I correct? It's the one provided by government.
Le ibuya kurhulumente le.
Kunjalo
That is
mhlekazi.
correct?
Yes.
I don't understand, sorry, I don't understand. You just put it to this witness that that brown envelope which she used to put the bullet inside it is not prescribed in terms of the police rules or orders. Is that not what you said?
Yes, that's what I said, my lord.
Right. Now you are saying about this envelope, when he says it has glue, what are you saying when you put it to her?
Then in
You said
that,
it's a
that envelope,
ordinary envelope which you just glue because it's textured with glue, like a letter you post when we didn't have cell phones.
can I proceed, my lord?
Now I just want to understand, are you saying that envelope, she says it has a glue inside for her to attach the two lapels?
Yes, I heard that.
Because your assertion was that you, after using it, you cannot close it. You remember that?
Yes, my lord.
That's what you put to her.
Yes, my lord.
Now she says the one she used, she can close. Am I quoting correct now?
ngaba ndichaza kakuhle nto kuyithethile uba ngaba uthethe ngeglue uba inele glue le idibanisa ukuze izokwazi uba izocikeka.
Kunjalo
That is
mhlekazi.
correct, my lord.
Yes, and that envelope is not the one, it's not the same like the one that is provided, the normal exhibit bag, that after you had sealed it, you cannot open other than damaging it. That was my question, my lord.
ayifani ke ngoku nale isiqhelekileyo into efana ne-seal bag lena ukuba ngaba emveni koba uyivalile awukwazi uphinde uyivule ngaphandle kokuthi uyonakalisa.
In other words, what I'm saying is that the brown one, you can open it after it has been closed. Unlike the prescribed exhibit bag, which after you have sealed it, you cannot open it. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Endikuthethayo
You cannot open the
ayifani
seal.
nale exhibit bag lena. I-exhibit bag lena emveni koba uyitywinile awukwazi uphinde uyivule kwakhona kodwa yona envelope lona emveni koba uyivalile ungaphinde uyivule kwakhona.
Xa uphinde uyivula izawubonakala ukuthi ivuliwe. Ewe i-envelope ayinayo i-serial number efana ne-exhibit bag.
Once you open it, it will be visible that it was open. But yes, the envelope doesn't have a serial number, just like the evidence bag.
And it also does not have the seal like the seal that is used in the prescribed seal bag.
Kwaye futhi ayinayo nale seal le ekule bag.
Njengoba ngitshilo ukuba i-envelope ayinayo i-seal number. So
Yes.
ayifani nale forensic bag. Le forensic bag xa uyijonga ine-forensic seal number.
As I've already said, that the envelope doesn't have a seal number, just like the forensic bag. If you look at the bag, the witness pointing to photo number 129, it has a seal number.
Kodwa i-envelope ngaphansi inalaa glue othi xa uyivalile ivaleke inqineke.
But the envelope itself, underneath it has that glue that after having closed it, and then it is tight.
And
it is closed.
that glue is not the same as the seal that is used in the prescribed seal bag.
Le glue lena ke uthetha ngayo ayifani ke ngoku nale seal lena okanye elitywina eli likule ngxowa.
Ewe azifani mhlekazi.
Yes, they are
And
not
you
the same.
further testified that the prescribed seal bag now, in terms of the standing rules of the SAPS, it can be broken by a sharp object. Am I
Usawuthi
correct?
ukuba ngaba ke ingxowa lena iyakwazi ukuba ngaba ke ikhazulwe
Sorry, my lord.
yinto etsolo.
It can be pierced.
It can be pierced. Thank you, my lord.
That's the evidence.
Thank you, my lord. You said it can be pierced by a sharp object. Is
Ubutshilo.
that your evidence?
Ewe ngitshilo mhlekazi.
Yes, I did say so.
Okay. So this exhibit now was kept in the brown envelope, which was not sealed in terms of the standing rules of the SAPS. It was put in a plastic bag that can be pierced, my lord, by a sharp object. Am I correct?
Sinale mbumbulu efakwe kule envelope engatywinywanga ke ngokwendlela okwenziwa ngayo ngasesipoliseni. Yathathwa lo envelope leyo yafakwa ke ngoku kwesi sinqobo esi esikwaziyo sona ke ukuba ngaba sikhazulwe yinto etsolo.
Mhlekazi ndicela ucacisela inkundla ngokwemvume yakho uba
May I, with the court's
ama-exhibit
permission,
asebenza kanjani.
with the court's permission, my lord, explain as to how exhibits
Mhlawumbi
work.
ndingenza i-experiment ngale envelope if inkundla iyanivumela.
If the court allows me,
Yes,
I
please.
can also use the envelope to make an experiment.
Xa ufika kwi-crime scene Sithetha ngale scene ke ngoku.
Now we are referring to this scene, my lord.
Photo number 28, my lord.
Photo 128 or 128? 128, my lord.
128. 128. Envelope ithathiwe. Yabhalwa. Nansi envelope yakhona.
Hey, Paramisi. The envelope was taken, my lord, and it was written on.
Written by who?
Balong Bani.
Ibhalwa ngubani kanjani?
What do you mean by who?
You said it's written.
Uthi yabhalwa.
Ndithi yabhalwa ngumsiya.
By Musia, exhibit.
Okay, correct.
Uyifumene ingabhalwanga.
When he found it, there was nothing written on it.
Wayibhala ukuthi exhibit 1.
And wrote on it exhibit 1.
Ngoba ibizofaka le bullet.
Because this bullet was going to be placed inside.
Isizathu sokuthi sifake ibullet ekwi envelope.
The reason of putting the bullet in the envelope,
Ndicacisile ukuthi for integrity ye exhibit
I did explain that it was to keep the integrity of the exhibit
until it yofika ballistic.
until it reaches ballistic.
So xa ifakwa uzayivala athathe lento ayivale.
And he will then take this part, my lord, the witness referring to the glued part, and close it.
Iyavalwa xa igqiba kufakwa exhibit.
Once the exhibit has been placed inside, it gets closed.
Then i-exhibit bag into ekanje.
An exhibit bag is like this.
Uyifumana iso
You find it like this,
with this strap.
with this strap.
Le envelope ithathiwe yafakwa ngaphakathi
This
ku-exhibit bag.
envelope was taken and placed inside the exhibit bag
Ngumsiya after egqiba collector le bullet.
by Musia after having collected this bullet.
So now sine-envelope evaliwe,
We now have a closed envelope.
sine-bag evaliwe. Xa uyivala le bag ususa esi strap.
We have a sealed bag. When sealing this bag, you remove this strap,
Uyayicika
you seal it.
ingaphakathi ibullet.
The bullet is inside.
Into ethethayo ke ngoku esebenzayo xa ifika e-forensic
Now what works now when it reaches the forensic,
xa bezawujonga ukuthi obubungqina obuzisile buyahambelana nento oyibhalile ephepheni.
to check as to whether that which you brought corresponds with that which you wrote down on the piece of paper.
Yile exhibit bag number.
It's the exhibit bag number. The witness points to a number on the bag, my lord.
Nobungqina obubhalile kwi-statement sakho ukuthi kule bag number ufake ntoni.
As well as that which you wrote on your statement as to what it is that has been put inside this bag.
Lena ayisasebenzi
This, referring to the strap, my lord, is not working anymore.
iyadisposed.
It gets disposed of.
No, thank you for that information, Ms. Mhlahlo.
Demonstration.
So ke ngoku iba
For the
inkundla
demonstration.
The demonstration.
Thank you, ma'am. Yes, continue, ma'am.
yiyo lento ke ngoku ubona ku-128
That is why you then see on 128,
envelope ibekiwe ecaleni kwebullet kwe-bullet point
the envelope is placed next to the bullet point.
kwabhalwa exhibit 1
Exhibit 1 is written on it,
yathathwa yafakwa kwi-envelope yafakwa envelopini
and then it was taken and placed inside the envelope.
i-envelope yacikwa yafakwa ebhegini ye-exhibit kwi-forensic bag
The envelope was closed and placed inside the forensic bag.
yavalwa i-forensic bag.
The forensic bag was sealed.
I don't have a problem with that, but my question is, I don't have a problem with that. My question is, from your evidence, that envelope, it's easier, the brown envelope, my lord, the brown envelope, it's easier and it's possible to tamper with the seal of that envelope. And it was put in the prescribed plastic bag that we have just displayed to the court now, on which you said it can be pierced by sharp objects.
Andinangxaki naloo nto leyo kodwa ke le mbumbulu lena ithathwe yafakwa kule envelope leyo ekulula okokuba ngaba ingathi ivulwe yathathwa lo envelope leyo yafakwa kule ngxowa lena ngxowa leyo otshileyo okokuba ngaba ke iyakwazi ukugqojozwa yinto etsolo.
So in other words, what I'm saying to you is that it was possible, it was put into the bags of which it is possible to tamper, for someone to tamper with those envelopes. Both envelopes now, brown and the one that we have used.
Ngoku ithathwe yafakwa ke ngoku kule envelope ekulula okanye ekungaba lula kumuntu okokuba ngaba angathi atemperishe okanye aphazamisane nayo.
awukwazi ukutemperisha i-exhibit ingaphakathi kwe-envelope kwe-exhibit bag
You-
ngaphandle kokuba ude uqhaqhe le-exhibit bag uyidabule.
You cannot tamper with something that is placed inside the exhibit bag,
But you can-
apart from now destroying or tearing the exhibit bag itself.
But you can pierce the plastic bag with a sharp object, am I correct?
Kodwa ke ngento etsolo uyakwazi uyigqobhoza iplastic lena.
Plastic.
Iplastic engaqobhoka yiyo le nto inkosi yenkantolo mhlekazi ndiyicacisile uba xa uzofaka i-exhibit apha funeke uprotecte i-integrity yayo injengemese umzekelo if ucollector imese kwi-crime scene awuzuvele uyithathe uyifake kwesisingqobo because i-sharp ingaqobhoza esisingqobo.
Which is why, my lord, I made a reference to the protecting, preserving the integrity of the exhibit. It's like collecting a knife from a crime scene. If you collect a knife from a crime scene, you can't just put that knife straight into this exhibit bag because it's going to pierce it.
I think you have agreed with me that that plastic bag can be pierced within sharp objects.
Ndicinga bese sivumelene ngaleyo yoba ingaqobhoka, iyakwazi uqobhoka iqhotshozwa into etsolo.
iyakwazi ukuqobhoka ngento esolo.
Thank you, my
Yes.
lord. Thank you, that's all I wanted. My lord, can we take a short adjournment so that I can wrap up my question, my lord? After break. I think it's 11 o'clock.
Is it 11 o'clock?
Oh, it's quarter past, my lord. It's quarter past.
11.
Yes, yes.
Okay, 11:30, adjourn.